Now we just gotta hope that my blue shirt doesn't look weird with my green screen. Hey everybody, welcome back to Watching Watchmen. Today we're talking about season number 1, episode number 4. Now this episode is essentially the follow-up of last episode. There's a bunch of crazy stuff happening, and I already forgot the synopsis of the episode because I watched it like a few days ago, and there's already going to be a new one tonight/tomorrow of the filming/uploading of this video. So let's go ahead and get into what I remember and things that I want to quickly talk about this episode. So first of all, I actually found this episode to be pretty disappointing. I didn't really like it that much, especially after I was so excited after episode number 3. If you go back and watch that video, there was a ton of things that I loved about that episode. This one, not so much. It just didn't feel as engaging or interesting, especially touching base with what happened with the original Watchmen. So this one just just bled for me. First topic is going to be Jeremy Irons' Ozymandias. So essentially it is kind of confirmed that he is trying to escape wherever he is. I don't know if it's an island. I don't know if it's like a spaceship somewhere off who knows where that Dr. Manhattan maybe put him on. But he's trying to escape wherever he's from, hence using a lot of the clones to try and do various things, like testing fire, testing like catapults, testing like space suit type of things. All these different experiments are sort of leading up to him trying to escape from where he's at. Now, he has this really weird sort of, in this environment, the clones that he has of Mr. Phillips and the lady whose name escapes me at this moment at 1 in the morning are essentially like these babies that are grown in a lake thing that he sort of cultivates. I don't know if that's harvest is the best word, and then puts them into a machine where he spins them around really fast and then walks over, does something for 5 minutes, comes back, and they're full-grown people, but they don't fully have the functions of full-grown people yet, as they are still very much infants, I guess, in terms of mindset and development. Even though it speeds up the development process in terms of body and mind, it does take a little while to get there. But the overall concept is kind of cool, but the whole picking babies up out of water and like putting them into this machine, and then like he kind of like tosses some back, which was really weird. I don't know if they were ripe yet. Is that something you can do when harvesting babies? I have no idea, but it was really weird. Again, good idea, just really weird to look at visually. But then again, Watchmen was very good at that in the comic, so it kind of makes sense that weird equals kind of good or interesting for them, so that was that. And then there's also this new character, Lady True, who took over Ozymandias' businesses and running this giant tower clock thing, who essentially goes to this farmer's house and offers them a child that she created for them using their DNA in order to take their land. Where that's going, I have no idea. What's going on with the character, I have no idea. I know nothing about this character, and I don't really like it a lot. Like that whole storyline, I don't know where it's going. Maybe it'll develop into something later, but it just didn't seem that interesting to me. And then there's Regina King's character, Sister Night, who's off doing her own thing still, trying to solve some sort of mystery with her lineage and how kind of where she came from. That storyline I'm kind of confused at as well, because somehow it connects to with what Lady True's doing based on her ancestor, aka the old guy. He's up to something or has some kind of connection or wants her to do something. I don't know. It'll probably all reveal itself, I guess, at some point during the show. But overall, in this terms of this episode in particular, it just really wasn't that great. It didn't captivate me as much as the previous episode. It just wasn't that interesting. However, based on the preview for next week, episode number 5, it does actually look really good. And it looks like a lot of Looking Glass, which is a character that I felt wasn't that interesting, but kind of a play on Rorschach. And it actually looks very interesting based on his balance that he has to do with his personal life and sort of having that sort of recluse lifestyle while also balancing being a cop, as well as like his sort of vigilanteism. But something I did forget about this episode, the most interesting thing, other than like Jeremy Irons' baby harvesting, was like this character that Sister Night encounters that's like in this silver costume, and he essentially takes out these bottles, squirts like an oil or something on himself as he's running, and like straight up goes into a sewer. I don't know what it's about. I don't know if it's going to lead to anything, but that was probably the most interesting 1.5 to 2 minutes of the entire episode. But those are essentially my quick thoughts. Not the greatest episode. Hopefully next episode involving Looking Glass will be a lot more interesting and captivating. But if you have seen episode number 4, let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section down below, as well as make sure you're subscribed if you have or are following along with watching Watchmen, make sure you don't miss next week's episode when I upload that, aka a few days from now's episode based on tomorrow/tonight's episode based on the upload/record of this video, if any of that makes sense. Long story short, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next video. Other than that, those are my thoughts on Watchmen episode number 4. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.